Can we just take a moment to appreciate how pretty it is? If it wasn't for the fires. Anyways, it's Friday. I'm out appreciating the lovely spring weather. Thought we'd do another table talk about whatever subject happens to roll across my brain. And today's topic is how to introduce the characters. Recently been seeing a lot of videos about this, interesting new different ways to get the party to coalesce besides the usual classic Bard's Tale origin. You meet at a bar and the bartender hires you to investigate noises. Not to say that doesn't still work, but it is kind of overdone. And there are other ways to get them to coalesce quite quickly and working together as a team. Now, one of my favorites, which is slightly ridiculous, but also kind of makes sense, was not my idea. It was somebody else who did it, and I'm not even sure they got that from themselves or if they stole it from someone else. But anyways, basically it deals with a miscasting of a summon monster spell. Because if you go through the older iterations of monster summoning, you could summon humans and humanoids, including like barbarians or superheroes. So who's to say that if the spell was miscast, it couldn't summon one-hit die adventurers? So that is the premise, that you have a group of characters and they are summoned by a monster summoning spell to help a caster who is dealing with a situation. They're confused. The caster thinks he's or she has cast the spell successfully, and this is what they've summoned. It can be done very serious or very silly. Plus the whole process of trying to convince the caster that you're not summoned monsters, but that you're actually individuals and you want to go home, and then finding out the caster has no way to send you home. That is one of the best, because it puts you right in the middle of a fight. It rips you out of whatever your character was comfortable, and limits the stuff that the character might have on them. What if they were in the bathtub at the time? Gives the hint that maybe they're there on purpose because the spell shouldn't have done that. Plus, do you automatically have a built-in Patreon because the wizard is so, or whatever, is so grateful that you've helped him out, that he'll begrudgingly help you get back home. Now usually when I do it, I make it a little sillier, especially if it's new players and new younger players. I have the summoner who's misfired the spell totally convinced that the summoned adventurers are summoned monsters, and he treats them like summoned monsters. Like, he keeps referring to them as my creations, I've summoned you. And the last time I used this and they kept arguing with him, he was kind of getting a little condescending, and the NPC was like, oh, that's sweet, you think you're real. No, you're just a summoned incarnation. You're not a real person. I can send you back anytime I want. So that one was fun. And then of course there's usually a follow-up adventure to get them used to the system, and explore the different versions of how D&D works, like in order to get off the island or get out of where they are, you have to collect a couple things for the wizard to finish whatever he was working on when the orcs or the bad guys broke in. So if you help him finish that, it'll be a lot easier for him to get you home, whether by magic or simply just good old-fashioned legwork. But anyways, there's also the built-in quest of going home, wherever home may be, and finding out why the spell summoned you, because there's no way the spell should have done that, even misfired. So maybe there's more going on. So that's one I like, and that's one I use a lot, especially if I'm dealing with new players or younger players, or as a great way to introduce the different aspects of D&D. Another one works better for modern day. Good afternoon, Happy New Year. Good afternoon, Happy New Year. Is that they all went to college together. Then, you know, they lost track of each other. They went off and did their various stuff, be it modern day superheroes, whatever. And then they're invited to a college reunion or dorm reunion or whatever. And so when they get back to the reunion, that's when you drop the crisis in their laps. You know, classic Agatha Christie, you get there and the host is dead, right? That's always a good one. That's another favorite of mine. There's lots of good ones. There's lots of good ways to get them together where you don't have to rely on the meet in a bar. Jailbreak. Right? Jailbreak's another good one, and all the variations of jailbreak. You wake up in jail, you don't know how you got there. You're all in jail for various minor crimes, and you discover that, you know, you should have just been let go because it was all like, you know, minor crimes like drunken and disorderly. You're only supposed to be in jail a day or whatever. But in order to facilitate the new ruler, the jailkeepers have decided to kill y'all. So you've got to escape from jail before the guards. That's another good one, because now you're on the run. You're wanted criminals. You've got to stay together. You got to figure out why these guys wanted to kill you, you know. Another one, of course, is the classic, well, you're the D squad. You're all that's left. You know, we sent out all the heroes to deal with the major evil, okay? And then we sent up the backup heroes to deal with the outcome, the fallout of the major evil, right? Well, there's still stuff that needs to be dealt with that those two didn't deal with, and you're all that's left. So, yeah, could you help us out? You know? It doesn't have to be cliche, it doesn't have to be epic, it doesn't have to be world ending. It could just be simply as, you know, you meet on a beach, or you're all at the same party, or shipwreck. Shipwreck's another good one. You're all aboard a ship and it capsizes. You're a bunch of individuals who are forced together through an extreme circumstance, and you have to work together as a team to deal with the situation as quickly and effectively as possible, causing as little damage to yourselves and those around you, and hopefully in the process maybe getting some rewards and not getting blamed for the fallout. That's the basis of any team gathering exercise. Can they work together? Can they set aside their differences? Can they find ways that they, you know, compensate each other and can work off each other? You know, the flyer and the ground and pounder, classic combination, and working together. The strong man, you know, Colossus throwing Wolverine, right? Classic teamwork maneuvers. And then, of course, now that they forged this bond, then you just keep throwing things at them that force them to continue to work together. And, you know, simply, you know, the reward of money. As long as you keep working together and keep doing these jobs, the wherewithal will keep rewarding you. And as the jobs become more dangerous, the rewards become greater. The incentive to do these things becomes greater. You know, maybe as you get a little bit higher level, we can do the whole you know, keep on the borderlands. Hey, we've got some land. We haven't heard from them in a while. We don't have the wherewithal to maintain a military presence there. You guys have shown yourselves to be pretty decent with a sword or whatever. How about you go out there to this keep on the borderlands, find out why we haven't heard from them for a while, clear it out, get it ready for the settlers, and we'll let you be in charge. You could be the lords of the keep. And, you know, anybody who shows up, they'd be, you know, your vassals. They'd be working on your land. They would have to ask your permission to live there, or pay you taxes, or go through whatever hoops you want them to go through to become viable members. Now, of course, once a year we expect a status report, because, you know, we're giving this to you and we can take it away. So you still are expected to produce funds that we can tax and maintain our hold on the borderlands, and, you know, deal with any threats to the kingdom that might come through the borderlands, like, I don't know, those chaotic caves over there. Could you? That's a great way. You get them together, you keep them together, you keep them united over the maintaining of the whatever, the reputation, and then you start introducing things, more and more things to keep them working together. Perhaps there's a rival adventuring team. Perhaps somebody's taking their name and using it. Perhaps somebody's stealing their glory. I don't know. Anyways, the point is, there are lots of different tropes out there you can use to get the group of adventurers together and keep them together. What is your favorite way to introduce them? Do you have one that I didn't mention? Please let me know.